Welcome back to the talent and management classes. We were discussing, we were in the second module of talent and knowledge management, that is talent management system, right? So we were discussing about the what is talent management system, how does it work, and what are the benefits and challenges of talent management system. What are the challenges, benefits of the talent management system, and also we have discussed components of talent management system, right? So we were discussing all those things, so we have done with this. Now we have to discuss today we are going to discuss about building blocks of talent management system. Okay, so in this building block, today we are going to discuss the entire this session in this class. Okay, let us begin with the discussion. Okay, so students, there are five key building blocks of the talent management system. What we say, what we can see here, uh, like first one is competency assessment. Second one is performance management, or you can say that performance appraisal also. Third one is potential forecast or potential appraisal, you can say. Uh, Fourth one is succession planning. Fifth one is career planning. There are five important building blocks we say for the talent management. The competency assessment, performance appraisal or performance management, potential appraisal or potential forecast, succession planning and career planning. Do you remember these points? We have discussed this somewhere. Yesterday I said that we are going to discuss this in the detail, right? So here we have discussed five assessment tools, right? Competency assessment, performance appraisal, potential appraisal and potential forecast, succession planning and career planning. So this assessment tools are the building five building blocks of the uh, your talent management system. So what are they? Let us discuss one by one. First one is competency assessment. What do you mean by competency? Competency means it is associated with the uh, knowledge, skills, behavior, and characteristics of a person. Okay. So these characteristics, if you apply that to a job performance, so how these characteristics are matching with the job of a particular employee in the organization. Okay, so what competency assessment we do then? So competency means the competency of a person, his knowledge, sorry, his skills, his behavior, and his personal characteristics, which he the attributes which he portray to in the job performance, right? So we have to assess this competencies. What are the skills of a employee, what are the behavior of an employee, what are the characteristics of an employee, what is the level of knowledge of an employee, and how it is helping that employee in performing a given job to him. Okay, so that is the competency assessment means. Okay, so these competencies are core element of any talent management practice. Okay, so what are the competencies? Some of the examples I have given here: adaptability, teamwork, decision making, customer orientation, leadership, innovation. You can say these are the core competencies any organization will be looking for in an employee. So examples I have given here. These are the very important competency any organization would look for in an his employee, right? So first, like adaptability, whether he is a team worker or not, he could perform in the team or not. What is his decision making style, and what is the how does he react with customer, and whether he is a customer oriented or a company oriented or a self oriented person. Does he have a leadership quality? Does he is an innovative or creative person? So these are the certain competency or traits we could every organization could assess in the any employee. So why we have to assess the competencies, right? So yes, we have to assess the competencies to evaluate the competencies of a person to identify those competencies, so that what organization will should seek from the people, like what should it seek in the people. Okay, people means employer. So we have to identify those competencies, like how adaptability or innovation, to be to take an example. So we have to identify those competencies, and after identifying what organization would like to see those competencies, whether they are there in the people or an employee in the organization or a candidate who is applying for your job in an organization. Okay. uh, Next one is like competency model. The organization sends a consistent message to the workforce about what it takes to be successful in the job. Okay, what it takes to be successful in job means what are those competencies which is required in an employee or in a candidate who is applying for a job. So what it takes to be successful means what are those competencies which will help any employee in the particular organization to be successful in the job. Okay. Next one is what helps drive successful performance. Okay. So competency assessment will help the employee to understand their competency to become successful. Okay. First, it will tell the organization that what to see in a people, what competencies to be assessed in the people. Then it says that competency assessment will lead an employee to, like, what would I do to become a successful in the job, and what would help me to give a successful performance, right? So that's why we do the competency assessment. Okay. So competency model will always talk about how of the job, right? How the job should be done, how the performance should be done by an employee. Okay. So competency is a behavioral rather than the functional. Okay. So behave, when we say the behavioral means people would come here, right? uh, so functional means the roles and responsibilities of the people. So behavioral plus functional, like activities of the job, functional means, right? So it focuses on the people rather than the activities of that job or roles and responsibilities of the job. Okay, so that's why competency plays an important role, because it is related to behavior of the people, and it concentrate on the behavior of the people rather than concentrating on the activities of the job, right? Next one is competency models are outcome driven, okay, rather than activities. So take an example of the job description. What would be a job description? What job description says? Job description is understanding the roles and responsibilities of a particular job. What kind of roles and responsibility a person should do, or an employee should do in the particular position which is given to him, right? But so that is the activity based, right? But competency, what assessment will focus on outcome. What would be the result based? Okay, what would be the roles and responsibilities he has to perform to achieve the outcome? Okay, so it is not a activity based; it is a outcome based. Competency model says that to achieve the outcome, it is a outcome, and this, to achieve this outcome, what would be the activities we have to do, rather than the doing the activities and later on seeing the outcome of that activity. Okay. Next one is this integrates the human resource strategy with the business, like your HR strategy to business strategy. So it helps in the strategical level also. The competency model identify three groups of competencies, like I was saying: core competencies, leadership competencies, functional competencies. Okay. So core competencies means it is very important for to the entire organization. It is not for like it is like your values vision what we are in the previous classes we have discussed, like talent management system is about talent creed and talent strategy, right? So this is the core competencies talk about the talent creed, like value of the organization, culture of the organization, okay, organization abilities, capabilities. So this is like it is applicable, these competencies are applicable to every individual in the organization to achieve the strategic goals, like achieving the vision of the organization, what culture, what values, what abilities of the organization will help you. So that is the core competency of any organization. Leadership competencies would be looked in the positions like key positions like managerial level, uh, team leads, and some key persons like that. Then technical competencies would be that competencies required to perform a particular job. So this will be a functional level, job specific level competencies, like whether he can produce the product or whether he can perform the job or not. That is the functional competency. Leadership competency means maybe decision making could be one example, innovation, creativity one example. So these are the competencies which is required at the key level position or managerial level or administration level position. So it could be looked for. So core competency is applicable to everyone in the organization, which will help in the longer term. It is about the organization, it is about the culture and value system of the organization, it's talk about the mission and vision of the organization. Leadership competences is those who are in the key position like manager level, administration level. So for them, the leadership competences would be looked for. The functional or technical competences would be looked into the people who are performing the job, okay, who are performing the job, and for each job there would be a different competences required. Like say for example, a machine operator requires a different competencies and the competency required for an accountant in the office, right? So these are the different competencies would be looked into technical aspects. So that's why every job, for each job the competency would be different. We cannot generalize the competency. Wherein core competency we can generalize because it is applicable to the entire organization. Leadership competencies, yes, it is applicable to all the managerial level. Maybe the decision making it a different, but when you talk about their ability of the decision making or their managerial style, so that is common, right? That kind of thing is common, but it might differentiate from department to department again, according to the nature of the department you are working. So this is about the three things, which is category three category or three group of competencies which would should be there in the organization. Going further, next one is, it's all about competency management. So in competency management, we were discussing about what is competency, why competency assessment is uh, required in the organization. So how it is like it is outcome based and it is behavior load oriented thing, the competency model. It is not a functional or a kind of a job description, and it integrates the strategy with the a human resource strategy with the business strategy. Then there would be a three groups of competencies you could find in any organization, that is core competencies, leadership competencies, and functional competencies. Now come to the second building block of an uh, talent management system, that is performance management, okay, or you could say performance appraisal, which is a part of performance management, or sometimes it would be they use this interchangeably, this word performance management and performance appraisal, one under the same. Okay, performance management, you all know this, you have all studied in human resource management. Like in performance appraisal, what we do, we evaluate the performance of an employee, his skills, his achievements, his growth in a particular organization, about what performance he is doing in that job, in the job which he recruited for or which he selected for, right? So it shows the employee's overall contribution to the company. By analyzing his skills, his achievements, and his growth in the organization, we could see that what would be his contribution to a company's growth, right? So performance management is like a retention, they are saying. Okay, why means, see, the performance management is a continuous process, right? It is a never-ending process. Once the employee joins your organization, once his employment starts, means he'll be continuously evaluated over about his performance. Like every day, the performance management happens. Like if you're filling your timesheet, that what work you have done, how much was expected out of you, how much you have completed, that shows your attendance record. Okay, and the number of meeting you have attended, number of problems you have solved to the clients. So these kind of things every day it would be recorded. So it is an ongoing process and a continuous process. When the candidate joins the job, from that day the performance management also begins. Okay, so the process happens throughout the life cycle of that job. So from day one, the employee joins till the day he is quitting your organization for retirement, death, or for any to join any other organization. So this will be a employee's job life cycle continuously. The performance management will be happening. So this performance management, okay, it is happening. We are evaluating him every day for every minute, right? But that should give uh, an opportunity to the employee to create an advancement. Means why performance management has to done, not only to evaluate his skills and achievements and his behavior or his growth of the employee. It is also performance management is also done to evaluate whether he is required for a training, or we can send him for a development, or we can give him any opportunity to reward him or to punish him. So performance management has many objectives. Okay, what kind of performance management, you have studied this, but we have to go through with again with this. We have studied in your human resource management subject all of those things. Let's discuss in a shorter way. Like a performance management system can be a trait based, which means a character wise, you know, or a quality of employee is analyzed here or measured. Okay. um, Next one is, this is applicable to trade based is applicable to your CEO level to lower level worker, right? It is applicable to all the employees in the organization. Next one is behavior based. Okay, so here we are measuring supervisors and below levels of managers, sorry, workers. So what we measure here, we measure the employee's behavior towards the job. Okay. Next one is knowledge and skill based. So here we analyze or measure the performance of technical or production workers. Next one is result based. Here, like, measures the actual achievement of an employee, like administrator, managers, and executive. Let us take any two example, like mm, result based, the last one. Okay, the result based means, say for example, the sales, annual sales for the particular year 2019-20, say for example. So here we are seeing the results of the sales, and we are judging the ability or the we are judging the performance of a sales manager. Okay, let us not take an entire India sales. Say for example, 2009 year 2019-20's sales, whether it has increased or not in the South India. Okay, so if you see the results there, you could see that whether the performance of a sales manager is, he's achieved his, a standard which is set by him or an organization or not. So that is result based. Next, skill based. It is skill means it obviously comes under the technical or the people who are working actually working in with the production, right? So machine operator or a person who is manufacturing, say for example, a person who is packing your products, right? If he has to pack 100 units of product per day, right? Whether he is packing 100 units or not. If he is doing below 100 units means is a poor performer, understand it. He's performing below the standard, right? He's performing exactly standard 100 units or above standard more than 100 units, like that. Okay, so these are the some examples I would wanted to give. So this is how perform this type of performance types of uh, performance appraisal we can do. So a good performance management strategy which includes, which is we have to very important thing like uh, job description should be there. Like if the person is understanding what is roles or responsibility of an employee, then there would be a clear cut instruction for an employee. These are the roles, these are the responsibilities. So you have to work to fulfill their roles and responsibilities, then done. Okay, the performance will be a streamlined for any employee. Next, new employee orientation. Any new employees there, they have to first understand the organization, its policy, its procedures, the work which is given to them, and on the job training, of the job training, some kind of thing. So what is the standard which you have kept for that uh, particular job? Like so I was saying, if you have to, for a particular employee, if he has to pack 100 units per day. So that is a standard which is set by an organization for all the employees who are in the same, performing the same job, right? So he has to, we have to clearly say, tell them the standard which is expected from them. Then ongoing learning and development like training or development. So sometimes on the job training would be given to production technical level employees. Okay, development for managerial levels or development for further to occupy the further role. So this should be performance management should strive for understanding the need of learning and need of development in the organization. It is not only performance management, is aim is not only to measure the performance, to understand the needs of the learning and development is also one of the objective. Then performance planning. So how to streamline the performance of a employee who is deviating from the standard. Then how to streamline, how to plan his performance to be a perfect in according to the standard. Then if it is for rewards and recognition, so performance evaluation would help for the rewards and recognition. Also sometimes negative rewards or negative punishment, negative rewards like punishment, it would be used. Okay, then for promotion or transfers, that also would be the objective, which where the good strategies, performance strategy should include all these things. Okay, next students, so after the second building block we are going to the third one, that is potential appraisal. Okay, performance appraisal, then the potential appraisal. These are the two different things. Okay, so performance appraisal is once you perform, then it is your performance would be measured. But potential appraisal is some kind of, they're seeing your potential for the future requirement. Okay, let us see what I'm talking about here. Potential appraisal is a future oriented appraisal. Okay, so means in the future uh, that might be required. That's why we are analyzing the potential of, we are checking the potential of an employee. Okay, to measure potentiality of an employee for future higher positions. Okay, so potential appraisal means it happens for the future requirement. What is the future requirement? Future requirement is some higher position. Okay, potential is the So how we identify? So potential appraisal aims. The objective of potential appraisal is about the future, uh, to whether the employee would potentially available, whether this employee is a potential candidate or an employee to fulfill the next higher level or not. So we have to identify his hidden talent skills of a particular employee. Sometimes what happens, employee or not, they don't know their ability, they don't know, they are not aware of their talent. Sometimes when the critical situation arises, many of the employees would emerge as a leaders, like say for example, you have to meet the client requirement by the end of the day of the work. Your manager is on leave that day, but you are taking the responsibility of meeting that client requirement, and you're making sure that your team is working hard to meet the requirement of a client. So you have emerged there as a leader. You have the talent. You might not have recognized it, but in the absence of your manager or your team lead, you have showed that character instantly, without your knowledge. So that kind of talent and skills the organization should recognize in anybody, in the everyone in the organization, and they have to uh, pamper that talent, and they have to identify that talent, and they have to make it develop. So they have identified that you have a potentiality of becoming a leader, and you have a potentiality of pursuing a higher position in your organization. So now you are ready to become a team lead or a manager. Okay. So in simple words, performance appraisal is how an employee do the work or did the work, and potential appraisal is how an employee would do the work. Means it is a past. Performance appraisal is a past thing, potential appraisal is a future thing, right? So this says that employee would already has performed, and you are measuring that whether he is performed well or not, right? But where in the performance appraisal, but in the potential appraisal, you estimate, you're forecasting it, right? You're forecasting and estimating how the employee might do in a particular situation, what kind of talent he has, what whether he's ready to pursue the higher position or not. That is the potential appraisal, right? So why potential appraisal is important? Potential appraisal will evaluate the capabilities. Okay, so employees would judge on their various performance and behavioral parameters, whether he is ready for like leadership qualities, innovative, creativity. So like that, their behavioral parameters would be judged, decision making, management, like leadership styles. Next one is to succession planning, like whether the employee is suitable for the next higher level job or not. Okay. Next, it career development. Potential appraisal helps the employee in career development. Definitely, if we are planning for an employee, we have targeted that employee and we are observing him. Means his career development opportunity is there, because we would be liking him to you know take up the higher position in the organization. That is his, that shows his career development is happening. So to motivate the employees, means I was saying that many of the employees have the talent, but they don't know that they are not aware of their talents. So in that case, the employees could be motivated to showcase the talent, their skills and all, and further develop those skills and their talent to take the higher position. If the employee have a already have the talent and skill, and we have to make it a little bit polished, and we have to train him according to the position which is required. Yes, he is a leadership in the crisis thing, he has emerged as a leader, but whether he could perform that entire 365 days in the organization, so for that we can train him. and identify the needs of training for that particular skill, and we can train him for that thing to pursue the higher position. Next one is organization goal. So when the employee develop themselves, they are developing organizational also, means the potential appraisal would align the both individual objective of an employee to the organizational objective. It integrates both, and it will motivate the employees to achieve his goal with achieving the organizational goals. Okay, so that is about potential um, management or a potential appraisal, right? Next one is succession planning. So we have talked about this many times. Succession planning is a process of identifying, developing new leaders. Okay, like with the help of potential appraisal, whether the employees are having talent and skills of becoming a next, whether they have that ability or not, right? So the succession planning is after identifying, we are identifying here also and developing those employees. So though they can replace the old leaders and they can take up the position. See, replacing old leaders means the manager might retire or leave the organization, or sometime uh, death may happen. So in those cases, so we should have a reserve of a talents who could immediately replace that roles whenever it is required. So we are preparing here in succession planning. We have developing. We after identifying the talents, we are developing them, and we are keeping it in our reserves. Whenever any top leaders would retire, leave, or die, that time the person would the person from the reserve could take up that place. Okay. Um, so succession planning, after why succession planning is done in any organization to increase the availability of experienced and capable employees. Like we are creating reserves of employees, you know, to assume the higher roles whenever they're available. Right? We are not creating any roles or any positions here. Whenever they are available from the reserve, we are supplying. So we are creating reserves of an experienced and capable employees who can uh, take up the higher position. So succession planning evaluates each leader's skills, identify potential replacement both within the organization and outside the organization. Okay, it can happen both the way, but succession planning talks more about the inside, developing the internal replacement. Like we are creating our out of our own employees, we are creating reserves to take up the next level. Okay, the next thing, the last building block is career planning. How you do your career planning. After my MBA, I want to join here. After joining here for 5 years, I work there as this, and later on I have to work there, and I have to maybe quit the organization and start my own business as a startup, or I want to reach till the vice president of that organization. This could be your career planning right now, might be going in your mind. So organization also have the same career planning. So what is career planning generally means? It is a process, right? Step by step process that anyone would select as a career goals, like this position, position 2, position 3, like step by step we are going. So how to reach this, we decide the path also, right? So career planning is your career goals and the path to reach that goals, both the things, goals and path to reach the goals. If you talk in the organizational viewpoint, it is individual viewpoint, right? If you talk about the organizational point, means helping those individuals to achieve their goals by providing the path, right? So to make their career, organization would give the uh, paths to achieve the goal, right? So career can